Mr. Adolf Musige when he was my campaign manager, when I was running for guild as president of the guild. I didn't quite make it. We stopped along the way. And at that time, the divisions were severe. I joined forces with the Norbert Mao, and obviously, my good campaign manager joined forces with the late Brigadier Mayombo. And the results were out, and Mao won. And again, we had another contest with the minister to become Speaker of the Guild. This time he stood against the person he was supporting. And in the history of elections, there could have been no better defeat in the history of, because I actually defeated Honorable Adolf Musige very, very, very severe. But that never faltered the foundation of our friendship. It's friendship we celebrate to date. I remember with fondness my friend Brigadier Richard Karemire, to whose home village, in the village I met the family, I had food there. That's the extent to which this friendship goes. I remember with great fondness Major General Mujira. I remember one time we were doing something at Makerere where we were leaders, and I needed to represent or to speak in the position of, what was his name? Jerry Rawlings. And I needed an army uniform at the rank of a lieutenant. And General Mujira then was a lieutenant, so he gave me his uniform. And I showed up as Jerry Rawlings. Except, of course, I was much darker than Jerry Rawlings. But we had a good time. Then for some reason, because the activities took long, I did not have the opportunity to quickly return the uniform. And I received the 4-page letter from General Mujira threatening me that if I did not but that is the friendship we've built over here. Of course, I remember with fondness my own member of parliament, Felix Kulaije, who at that time, Rabo Rousers, is one of the people who stopped one of my activities. I started something at Makerere called the Ideological College. Ideological College, we used to have it every Thursday afternoon, and we would bring people from government. I remember General Tafire was one of the frequent participants in my meetings. Amanda Mushega was there. I don't remember. I think Masiko was also there most of the time. And then it grew so big that Afande Kulaije started having problems with it. I remember when we hosted the Jumaria, the celebration for the Libyan thing, we hosted Palestinian Day, and then we called one of the ideologues from Sudan called Al-Turabi. The man who was behind the Sudan government of Bashir. Al-Turabi was supposed to stay as students, and we had lovely debate. And of course, this started worrying the likes of General Colonel Kulaije, and they started filing reports that were inappropriate about my activities. And eventually, my ideological college got dissolved unceremoniously. And then he started the NRM discussion group, which we joined not for purposes of anything or being members, but for purposes of putting strongly the other side of the argument. We never retreated. We advanced to engage constructively as students to try and see solutions if we could get them. So that is a bit of why I'm a bit excited to be here. I don't know whether I've forgotten anybody who was part of that team who is here and I've not seen. But that is how we started at Makerere some time back. I've listened to the step. And the unique thing about the walls in Belfast is that they are so scientifically modeled that they rise depending on the tension in the city. They're electronically managed. First of all, they're already very high. The shortest wall is about 10 meters. And above that 10 meters, it has the capacity to rise electronically. You press a button, a wall that was 10 meters automatically goes up to 20 meters, electrified, to stop people from meeting. And somebody said about walls, that people are lonely in this world because they build walls rather than bridges. In Uganda, we're actually busy building bridges. That makes us a unique country. In the US, they are struggling to build walls. In Uganda, we are struggling to build bridges to connect our people. But this is what the statement says. A nation that keeps both eyes in the past perishes. A nation that keeps one eye in the past but one eye in the future survives. So this speaks to what we are doing now. Keeping one eye in the past, remembering what happened in the past, but using that to focus in the future. So if you combine these two statements, you understand the significance of this celebration. A nation cannot be a nation without its past. That nation must look at that past with one eye and use the other eye to focus on the future. So both these statements speak volumes about the value from which we can invest for the future. Our past is a piece of clay from which, using Honorable Hilary Onek's word, we can mold our own future. A past which is a raw material from which we can use to manufacture the fabric of the things that constitute our peace and development. The past as an instrumental, instructional material to advise about the things we should avoid and focus on the things that we must embrace to consolidate the future. The past as a foundation on which we build a nation, a foundation on which we unite our people. That is the idea of the past that is being celebrated in these two statements. So, this past that we talked about, what has it been like? How can it instruct us? And what have we done so far about this past that has made this country look a little different? Let me break it down for you. What have we been able to achieve for which we should celebrate? What have we been able to build which we must consolidate? There was a time when this country was not like this. And we all know it. And let's stop pretending. We all know it. We all have experienced it. So sometimes when you hear people talk, you think they'll put their heads in some dark places where they can't hear or see. Uganda got independence in 1962. From 1962, 24 years later, Uganda had 9 presidents and it had 7 military coups. 24 years, 9 presidents, 9 military coups. 7 military coups. 33 years later, from 1986, I am just stating facts. 33 years later, we have had 1 president and 7 elections. First 24 years, 9 presidents, 7 military coups. 33 years, 1 president, 7 elections. Essentially, we have moved from coups to elections, something we should celebrate. These are facts, bare facts, that we have moved away from coups, 7 of them, and we have conducted in its place 7 successful elections. That's a celebration we need to have when we commemorate these days. That also means we have moved away from the bullets to the ballot. Same number of letters, almost similar letters, but significantly different, telling the story of a nation that has decided to rediscover itself from bullets to ballots. We have had a redefinition of terms. In the past, we used to have people we call exiles. Now, these same people, we call them diaspora. And guess what? In our budget, like we are doing the budget framework paper now, we are capturing the contribution of our people in the diaspora to the economy. We never used to capture the contribution of exiles in the economy. These are things we should celebrate. These are reasons for us to celebrate as a people. We have moved from human wrongs to human rights. That's a major transformation. We have moved from a situation, when I first came to the city, I'm basically a village boy. When I first came to the city, I used to live in Tinda. There were not as many taxis as I see now. There were not as many cars as I see now. This was the year 1987. So people, by design of things, used to walk to work. Yes, people from Ntinda would walk to Kampala, to their offices, work, and walk back. But guess what? Walking to work has now become a protest mechanism. That we have to spend tons of money and tear gas and everything to try and stop people from walking to work. That is something we should celebrate. As tremendous changes. Now, from a ragtag force to a ragtag force called the NRA, the transformation has become the UPDF, a professional army, an international respect, an envy of the world. We need to celebrate this. It does not matter which party I belong to. These are facts about what has happened to us. We cannot ignore them. We cannot think as if they never happened. When we treat them like they happen, then we take our situation now more seriously than we used to, and our focus will change. Looked like a wealthy person. He was walking, his shoes were not very good, but he had bought his groceries. He was holding on the right hand, and on his left he was holding an AK-47. And some fellow came, ran quickly, grabbed the man's groceries, and took off. The soldier did not even look at his gun. He just looked at the man running and laughed. I don't know what the story would have been if this fellow had tried it earlier. First of all, he would not have been up there. But imagine a civilian young person running to a soldier who is armed to the teeth and grabbing from his hand his groceries, what he had bought for his family for that evening, and runs away with it. And the man smiles and laughs. Now that's a transformation which we must celebrate. Politically, and I must say this, you see, sometimes we try to find out why Uganda has changed, why there's this stability, why there's this peace. We don't value the small things that happen. In this country, we have had a president that has disagreed with his colleagues before, fought them with the guns, actually despised them occasionally, and had no kind words for them. But guess what? One of the president's widows came back and ran against him for president. Is that small? That the wife of a deposed president can come back into the country and run for office against the person who deposed her husband. Does that make sense to you? Isn't this something we should celebrate? In a country where the son of a former deposed president is a member of parliament and his wife is a minister. In a country where the grandson of everybody, a person who everybody calls a dictator, anybody wake up will call him a dictator. And then you see the president of the country standing on the same vehicle with the grandson of a former dictator of this country, whose record we all know. But he stands with the grandson of Idi Amin on his car and is campaigning for him to become a member of parliament. And he is a member of this parliament. And it was a by-election. Members. And these reasons for us to celebrate. And these reasons for us to give new meaning to Tare Sita and all the infrastructure that has been built after that to make this country what it is today. Isn't it a reason for celebration? Simple questions. I'm just asking. Because it bothers me that people, some of them find it difficult to understand these bare, very, very simple facts. The UPDF, improved image, transformed image. I'm not saying from the time they came, they were holy as thou. No. We had days of reports on the junk helicopters, yes. We had days of the reports on the planes that had one wing. Yes. We started wondering how these one-winged planes will take off. But we had those days. But are those days still here? The answer is no. The image has changed dramatically. And this is the cause for celebration. That you have a force that is respected worldwide, but even internally. In the books, they have accounted for their conduct, for what they do, and for the money that we give to them. Civil-military relations. I don't even need to talk about this. You have just had a snapshot of what they are going to do to enhance this relationship. Beyond the call of duty, they act. Landslide strikes in Dububa, in Bududa, they are there. Situations of natural disasters, they are there. Boats where people are enjoying themselves sinking, they are there. Ebola, they are there. To the extent that we had our own general, the late General Kera, rest in peace, even being sent to West Africa to deal with the issues of Ebola. This is the force we are talking about. National peace, we have just talked about it. with the exception of, they've already said it, so let me not say it. But the disarmament of our friends from Karamoja has been completely done, successfully done. Something which has defeated all governments of the past. Regional peace and security. When you talk about Congo, you can talk about South Sudan, you can talk about Somalia. We have committed men and women leaving their families to go and help other people live their potential. I can never in my whole life forget a picture. It was published in the newspapers of a UPDF soldier sitting holding his gun and little Somali children swimming. For the first time, they had never swam. But this soldier was there with his gun watching the children swim. Now, you tell me, these fellows had not swum almost their own lives. But situations change, and then you have this soldier sitting there in watch, just in case some funny fellow is going to show up. These children must be protected. They are respected in Somalia. They are respected in Sudan. They are respected worldwide. They have become an envy of the world. That's why we celebrate this force. For me, as Jacob Oulanya, the day I discover that General Muhoozi is sleeping, I will not sleep. But I sleep very well knowing that General Muhoozi is awake. And all of you who don't have any capacities to hold guns and defend this country, you sleep with your teeth falling off because some sets of people are staying awake to guarantee your safety. Shouldn't we celebrate this? Is it so difficult? Is that too much to ask? That is not to say we don't have challenges. We do have challenges. And we must deal with them squarely. We must meet them with the full force of our united energies to deal with them. One of them is poverty. They have designed using the military Operation Wealth Creation. It may not be successful, but the start. It has started. General Angina is here. He's part of the people doing this. It's a start in the right direction. Beyond the call of duty, they are committed to fighting poverty. Unemployment is a big challenge in this country. To an extent that you have the unemployed becoming a security risk. These are risks that you cannot protect with guns. Need strategic thinking. If you watch every morning, the number of young people that go to that area of Owino Market, Kiseka Market, they go hungry, they have nothing to do, they are waiting for an opportunity for a disaster to happen. And then you will see them. This is raw material from which disasters are made. Unemployment is a problem. We need to start thinking critically how to deal with these issues of unemployment. Cases of criminality, they are there. And some soldiers involved, some policemen are involved, some local askaris are involved. Individual people, when they are caught, they are held accountable. When they are not caught, they continue to propagate this nonsense, threatening everybody else who is like trying to enjoy their peace and whatever they have in this country. These are challenges that we must deal with. Corruption is a big problem. But like I hinted before, the days of the junk helicopters are then done. One-wing planes are done. Those days are done. But what is corruption? And who is the corrupt? The corrupt is me. The corrupt is you. Is your mother. is your father, is your son, is your daughter, is your uncle, is your aunt. Those are the corrupt people. So before you point to anybody that that person is corrupt, remember that either you, most likely you, or people associated with you are the ones who are corrupt. Isn't that a fact? We have a country where we glorify the corrupt, where parents... But in this statement, we have partners who stand with us. Because we believe there's nothing wrong with Uganda that cannot be corrected by what is right with Uganda. We believe there's nothing wrong with the people of this country that cannot be corrected by them, acting together, focused on the challenges that face them. But in this, we also have people who don't wish us well. And they come in all colors. They come in all colors. Some pray, some give money, some run, some dance, some sing, some all kinds of activities are going on under the guise. But they don't mean us well. These are the people we should watch carefully. Because as I said, there is nothing that is wrong with Uganda that cannot be corrected by what is right with Uganda in a peaceful way. We have infrastructures in the constitution, organized and structures for people to change leadership of this country. Use them. Use them. They come and we talk with them. And they ask from me, presumably civilian perspective, what my assessment is. They come to understudy the UPDF. If you come to my office, you can think I'm a general. I have plaques from the command thing of Arusha, of Dar es Salaam, Nigeria, Ghana. Mention them, they're in my office. I feel like a general myself. But they come because the UPDF has offered them the opportunity to come and study how you transform an army. Because it has been successfully done here. So our dream really is, as we celebrate, is peace, which is here with us. And somebody said, if one person has a dream, it is but a dream. But if that dream is shared by everybody, that dream becomes a reality. Our dream as countrymen and countrywomen is that we have peace permanently in this country. That is our dream. And if everybody joins in this dream, we will have the reality of Uganda being a peaceful country forever and forever. Bravo, UPDF. Viva Jeshi wa Uganda. Viva wananchi wa Uganda. Viva wazalendo wa Uganda. Viva wazalendo wa kweli wa Uganda. May God bless you. And with these few words, I now declare Tarehe 6th celebration and its activities